Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. I recently got to fix an Amiga 3000 and Chris kindly provided me with a power adapter from Amiga Kit. Anyway, that's broke, as you will see, and this short video just shows how I fixed it. And then later, I actually broke the one I had for my 4000 as well. And it's not from manhandling, it's just literally a case of if you use these adapters to regularly connect and disconnect as you're working on the board, service it, etc. Because they're crimped, they eventually just give way. Yeah, like I've not got enough to contend with already, this Amiga Kit adapter is cheesing me off now. You can see, I just noticed there's a wire, yeah? It's not being pulled, because it's easy to get this in and out just by doing that. It's just falling out. It's just like really loosely crimped. This is why I always solder connections like this, because they just fall out. I've had this with every one of these adapters from Amiga Kit. All my Amiga 2000 and 4000 ones are flaky as anything. I've had to redo them a number of times. They're a lot better now. But anyway, somehow I've got to try and get that pin out now to solder that back in. It's not even my adapter, this is the one that Andy kindly provided with it. So, it's going to take me a while, this, I think. Oh, would you look at that? Literally just manipulating it to try and fix this one, and that's come out. That's two. All I did is bend it like that, and it went pop. It's just come straight out. So now I need to check back the footage. I'm not sure which one that's come out of. And I can't get them out of this. So, I've got a real problem now. Right, that was a son of a you-know-what to get out. And it actually came out from the front side. Yeah, what I did is I used a biro. This was a suggestion from Call286, because there's two of these. So I've got the white one, which was the corner one, and the black went next to the other blacks. So, yeah, the black needs to come out. So, yeah, it's a case of getting it in from this side, right around. Now, if the metal part, like it is on this one here, is bent, that can be a problem. You've got to press and rotate, and eventually it starts to come out on this side, which is interesting. I guess in terms of reassembly, it could be a problem. But I mean, yeah, that one's not coming out, the other one did. Unfortunately, it's too big to go in that side. But anyway, yeah, I can restructure the flaps and things on this, solder the wire back on, try and get that one back in, but yeah, they're really annoying, these things. I hope some more don't break off while I'm trying to fix those two. Yeah, just pushing them out with a flat tool is the right way, actually, and they pull out, let's say, from the opposite side you'd expect. But then the flaps here, just using a blade to get under it and just bend it upward a bit, so that when we stick it back in, it should hold itself, you know, from slipping out with the cable. So, you know, we've got the things like that stuck out instead of like that. Yeah, so it's going to make a nice tight fit as we push it in. So all I need to do now is sort out here, crimp it, solder it, stick it back in. One of them, you know, it widened a little bit as I stuck a tool in, so I need to just slightly reshape to make sure it's good as new. But yeah, hopefully I can fix this. Right, I put it flat in here after I'd widened the spades there. Put the wire in, soldered it on. So yeah, this, you know, it's widened a bit on the plastic there as it melts. It's unavoidable. But let's just try and get this back in. So yeah, the grounds were all on the same line here. So I'm just going to just carefully experiment and see if we can get this to go back in. I think that's it. It's clipped. So I'm just going to view this with a magnification just to make sure it's in the right position, and I'll do the same thing with the white. Right, so you're on super macro. You can see well, I think you can, I can't see the little wings on this, so those need lifting up because they're not stuck out enough. And you can see where it's a little bit mangled here, where it's, you know, it's just been crimped. It's been crimped, and the crimp has just given way. So yeah, the strange thing is, you know, let's say you push these from the back, the point where it's crimped, just get a flat tool. I was using a pen, a ballpoint pen, and it sort of goes around this part. But if you push, start with a few times the ballpoint pen, and then just try a flat tool, just try and get into the centre of it and push, and it comes out. You can push it out from the front. And then, obviously, let's say, just spread the wings, solder your wire back on, and push it back in from the back. But if those wings are not spread, when you pull the wire, obviously it'll just come straight out the connector. And that's the way it's held, you know, it's held like that. Yeah, and that's the way it's held, you know, so these things come outwards, yeah, so you've got like a, you know, if you imagine this is the dimensions of the tube, because it comes out like that, they go ping, yeah, so that when you pull on it, it can't come back out, but it can come out from the front. Can't get any closer than that. We do have a microscope now, which is an amazing donation from Kavanos, but I haven't had a chance to open it. So yeah, that will be an upcoming video. I can't wait to get some bench space free to be able to do that. Yeah, so it's a case of pushing it into the... Don't underestimate how hard they are to do this way. Crimping it is probably far easier. There we go, I'm adding the solder. Right, that's kind of on. So what I'm going to do at this stage now is just add some flux, hold it down and reflow it. Yeah, so I'm just going to press it down onto the tin again. The key here is, we're pressing the wire into the crimp point. That's it. Ow, 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 ow. And pull away. So the same thing's happened where it's widened a bit there, but you can see it's on and it's soldered on. So yeah, technically it could break again at some point. The wings are nice and spread apart there now. Let's try and get that back in, and hopefully I can get back on with the repair. It's like an hour out of my time wasted messing around with Amiga stuff. And the thing is here, I do appreciate the products that they make, but it's just some of these cost-cutting corner things. It's like, why not solder them? Why crimp them? They don't last when you crimp them. The exact same problems occur, like say on the other adapter. So let's now carefully push that in. Clip. There we go. And we can't pull it back out. So yeah, I just need to just double check that I've got the white and the black the right way around. It'd be really annoying if I haven't. Because the thing is, if the wire hadn't detached, try and pull that through the front now. You can't, because the wire won't go through the hole. So like when it's soldered on, you'd have to break it off in order to get it back out again. But anyway, we could always do that. At least I'm better armed now. I know how to fix these when the others break, and they will, trust me. I bet some more break before the end of the video. I wondered how long it'd be before one of these broke. You saw what happened on the 3000. The same thing's happened with the 2000. They just crimp them, and look, you can see how straight those wires are. You need literally no pressure on these wires at all, and they just pop out. So I've now got to try and get that out. I think the way to do that may be just to get a ballpoint pen, the refill bit, the plastic part, into there to push that out. Right, it's incredible how long that took me to get out. Yeah, I've spread the wings there with a knife. It's exactly the same as it was with the 3000 adapter, but unlike the 3000 adapter, you won't have seen that video yet, it comes out the opposite way. On the 3000 they can come out from the front. This one you've got to stick a flat tool right down the gap there and squeeze into those two prongs, and that's the bit that took me about an hour. And then eventually from this side with pliers I just went in there, grabbed the thing, twisted a little bit, and it just pulled straight out. So yeah, the final thing here now, as I say, was to spread the two wings there with a sharp knife, and we can just simply get the wire back in, crimp it a wee bit, but then I'm going to solder it on. Right, even that part of the process took blooming ages. Yeah, I had to try and jam something in between the two contacts there, because they were well and truly crimped down, and then forced the wire almost in. There was a bit still exposed on the end here, but then crimp it on the end, and then add some solder and flux there and soldered it in. So it's still, flexible strands on the outside there, on the outside edge, but it's soldered in there. And then I had to straighten it up somewhat. So yeah, all being well, one of these are the ones that's going to pop out in a minute. Yeah, I know what's going to happen now. One of these is going to pop out of here, isn't it? Because I've done that much manipulation trying to sort this particular one pin, and then it should just slide back in. That's it. It clipped there then, and it's in. That's it. So I'm just going to have to. So I'm going to have to be really careful with this now to try and not pull any one individual connection. I'm just trying to think. What I might do is stick a cable tie here, actually, because when the cable tied at that point, yeah, they're less likely to get individually pulled, I think. So I'm just going to go get a cable tie. Yeah, and deliberately holding all the wires sort of at the same length, so not one of them feels like it's stressed here as I tighten those. Yeah, and I think they should support each other. But bear in mind, if you pull any cable by the wires, they're going to snap off. but that isn't what happened. I always wobble the connector here, squeeze this, and wobble like that. Anyway, let's see how we get on with that. So massive thanks to Cathers for allowing me to keep this. Actually, it's helped me out no end, and it will help me in future. So with the Amiga 3000 one, just to summarise here, because I didn't really explain very well, a ballpoint pen will not fit in from the front because the hole is smaller. Now, as you see on the 4000, that's different. Yeah, but from the back here, just continuously pushing with the ballpoint pen, it started to come out a tiny little bit, and then what I was able to do is just get, you know, a flat jeweler's screwdriver. I tried this one, I think, with a point, and get onto the centre of it and push, and eventually it comes out from the back. You know, you're pushing it from the back out the front, and then just straighten it with tools and things if you've done any you know, bent it at all, etc. And then you saw putting it back in is dead easy. Just spread the wings and push it in from the back once it's connected back on. Yeah, so with the 4000 one, it was a lot more painful, to be honest, because, and I didn't really explain very well, but as you look at it from the front here, you're not going to be able to see without magnification, but the two wings, you know, you'll be able to see them with magnification sort of sticking out to the sides. And if you get, I didn't use this, what I did, I used a pin, and I got a pin in there, and I pressed like that, and then inspected until those two wings that were sort of sticking out like that went straight. It was just looked like a little sphere. Yeah, the actual pin was just spherical in the middle, but the back on these is wider, so you can't pull it through this way. It's got to come out that way on the 4001. Someone was telling me actually these are from a Fiat camper van or something. You can actually, I don't know if you know what that is, post down in the thing below. You could just buy a new one of these, and of course then you could just chop all your wires off and put a brand new one on. But anyway, yeah, once you've you know, got those little wings in line so that it's just spherical on this side, then you can just use some you know, fine nose pliers and grip the bit that's there and pull out from the back. You could of course try and push the pin, and I did this as well. I got onto the end of it and press like that into the pin, and eventually it came through. But that did take an hour of doing those few things there. It was incredibly hard to get out. There probably is a proper tool you can use that you can push in from the front here that's just the right diameter to squish in those wings, and then there's probably something you can, it may even then push the whole thing out as well. Yeah, I was going to say 3D print something, but I don't think you could get plastic that's going to be strong enough to be able to be thin enough to go around that, and then hard enough at the end here to be able to push it out from the other side. Yeah, but anyway, hopefully those little bits of information might help you if you have a problem with the one with the 4000 or the 3000. Even the Amiga 2001 I have fixed a few times now. You can see the problem I have with this one. Look at this pin. It's hanging out of here. I think I need a new pin there or something. The wings on that are a bit balks, and it continuously slides out of there. That cheeses me off with this one. But yeah, you can see one or two of these have been soldered and redone here, I think. These are a lot simpler. You can just literally push down the little, you know, the springy bit there. It's got the one wing effectively, and then the pin can pull out. If you can't pull it out because the wing is broken off, you could just gently push with a flat tool from this side, but only when that there has been flattened down, you know, and it just comes straight out. And of course these are easier. It's just a Molex, isn't it? And you can buy the plastic as a replacement. You can buy the individual pins as well. There's a few sellers of those pins on eBay. So I do hope you found that video interesting. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video.